Hello YouTube and welcome back to Navisim 101 and welcome to Harrow and Wilstone. Yep, we're going to be doing another Bakerloo line video in addition to the ones that's already on the channel. Alright, and if you're new to the channel, a very warm welcome to you as well. Okay, so we're going to be taking this train from Harrow and Wilstone and we're going to be, let's make sure that those lights are on, yes they were on. And then we're going to be taking this train back up to Stonebridge Park. Let's get this door shut. Back up to Stonebridge Park, and then we're going to be going into the depot. All right. So let's press E to sit down. And actually, do you know what? Let's actually change the destination blind. So we'll just go over here and change that because we're going to Queen's Park. Right. So in the first video, we actually had a look at the train systems and basically what makes the trains work really and how they stop, etc, etc. And let's just turn this on. And the second one, we actually took a tour, a train ride from London Road Depot in South London all the way to, all the way to Queen's Park, and then we went to Harrow and Wilstone. Alright, so what we're going to be doing today is taking this train from here, Harrow and Wilstone, and then we're going to be going to Queen's Park, and then we're going to be running the train empty from Queen's Park to Stonebridge Park. Alright, so yeah. It's all exciting, looking forward to that. And what I need to do now, actually, just set the camera up for outside. So, got the camera there. You press number 3, and then you use the forward arrow keys, just to, and with the mouse, you actually just swing the mouse around and position your camera. All right. So, if you point the mouse up, then that's where the camera is going to go. All right. So, we'll leave that there, and go back to number 1. We'll make a brief announcement. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bakerloo line service, all stations to Queen's Park. This train will terminate at Queen's Park. This train is about to depart. Please stand clear of the closing doors. All right, so that's done. So just have a look outside before we close the doors. Check that it's all clear. A lot of the passengers not getting on, really. Some of them can't be bothered because they can't be bothered to change. Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Stand clear. They can't be bothered to change. They all just want to sit on the train and then not have their journey interrupted, which is understandable, really. Okay, so if you press the F1, you can see it says set the traction brake to control to off and release. The train still opened up, so yeah. I don't really drive with the F1 HUD on. I just like it as natural as possible, to be honest with you. And I don't really follow the various things here, but you know, to actually get the scenario properly started, you really have to go through all the steps there. Alright, so we'll see if we can put that to off and release and then get the system scenario started. Not too fussed about time, really. Now, it's about 10:30. Actually, let's have a look. Yeah, just after 10:30. So it's pretty late in the evening, really, and this time on the underground it starts getting a bit quiet. London a bit more busy, but certainly up here in North London it's getting a bit quiet. And what normally happens is that the trains start getting put away in the depot. So the trains will be stabled because you don't really need so many trains on the line. you don't really need so many trains on the line because you got drivers, needing to go home and so on and so forth. So they start to put trains away, sometimes about 7 o'clock in the evening, sometimes even a little bit earlier, because there's quite a number of trains actually on the Bakerloo line. Alright, so platform's cleared, and we can actually close the doors. Just give a last check just in case someone's running down the stairs, as is often the case. Right, check the signal and off we go. Okay, so right, so we're going into Stonebridge Park Depot. Now that is basically the depot where they do all the maintenance works on the Bakerloo line. So if a train has a problem, it needs, I don't know, it could need the bogies overhauling. Perhaps there's flats on the wheels. So what flats are, they're sections of the wheel where it's not round anymore, it's actually gone flat. And what causes flats is that if you were to drive, if it was raining and you were to sort of like really put full brakes on, you'd hear kind of like a sizzling sound. And that sizzling sound is actually the metal that's rubbing against the metal, and it just heats up and it melts, literally melts the wheel, part of the wheel. So much so that it causes it to actually flatten out. And then when the train actually starts again, well, it's gone a bit. No, that's a bit fine. That was a bit of a heavy stop, so that would have caused a bit of a jolt, uncomfortable jolt as the train came to a stop. So that's to be avoided. Let's just press number 3. So what we need to do over here is just go across and have a look at the platform. Yeah, that's all clear. Close the doors. Alright, off we go. Yeah, so that's how you actually cause flats on the train, when you actually don't brake effectively and properly when the rails are wet. It causes, actually costs quite a lot of money actually to resurface the train wheels. So good driving techniques will actually prevent that during the wet. Same thing if you're driving your car. If it's wet, then you've got to take a bit of extra caution. Same thing here on the trains as well. And sometimes during the day, this train could actually develop a fault, a defect, and what drivers would do, drivers would actually call up the controller and actually request what's called a fitter. Now these fitters actually will come to the train and have a look at the problem. And if they deem this problem to be, well, minor in nature, they'll just keep the train in service. But if it's a problem that's going to really affect the safety of the train, then the train has to actually go out of service. All right, here we go. Yeah, so the train would actually go out of service, and at London Road Depot, they can't actually repair the trains properly there. It's not really a depot like Stonebridge Park. So at London Road Depot, you'd have general maintenance work. They'll check the trains, but if there's any major work needed, then it would have to go into Stonebridge Park, because they've got all the tools there. They've got lifting equipment. They've got just specialised knowledge for the trains. Okay. So that's where this train is going, and he's going to spend the night there. No major problems with this train. It will just have some checks, just to make sure that it's serviceable and that there's no problems for the morning shift. Alright, so we're coming into Wembley Central. This is quite a fast station actually. And now you can actually get up to 50 miles an hour on approach to this station. I normally do leave the braking until last minute. All right. Wembley Central. So this is where Wembley Stadium is. Now, when there's a concert, then it's going to be a busy day. Busy day. Right. So let's just. Yeah, we're all cool there. Check the signal. Now you can see I actually use the mouse to pull down the TBC, traction brake controller, or the master controller, or the dead man's handle, whatever you want to call it. So I use it to actually pull down and swing. You can actually use any part of the arm to actually swing it across. I find it's a lot more quicker to do it that way as opposed to using the keyboard. But as regards driving with the mouse, it's just a no-no. It's just really difficult to control. Right, so we just passed a 40 mile an hour speed limit. Now, if we just shut off here and coast, so you can see here that we're at 40 and we're going to have a little bit of a slope here. All right, but by the time we get around the corner, you can see a 45 mile an hour speed restriction, which is just here. All right, so there's no need to brake really. And I never did that in the real world, so always maintained it like that around that bend. Right, so on the left, we are coming up to, well, we're actually at Stonebridge Park, so you can see here, just on left there, we're going to be passing the wash on the left-hand side, and you can see the two outlet signals. That's for trains actually coming out of the depot onto the main line. Right, welcome to Stonebridge Park. Right, now it might be a good idea just to remind everybody that train's terminating at Queen's Park. So we'll do that. So we'll lift the receiver here and make a PA. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Bakerloo line service. We'll be calling at all stations, not that there's many left, all stations to Queen's Park, and then this train will terminate. All right, so all stations to Queen's Park, and this train will terminate. This train's about to depart. Please stand clear of the closing doors. it's good just to remind them that it's terminating earlier than normal. So we're just passing what's called the North Circular motorway. You can get very busy at times. So in London there's a North Circular and a South Circular. South Circular being towards the south end, south of London. And the next station is Harrow. Right, let's see what it says in that HUD. Press the audible warning. Okay. Right, on the right, you've actually got Wasden Depot. Wasden is a massive depot. It really is. It starts a little bit after Wembley Central Station, and it goes right the way past Wasden Junction. It really is a very, very big depot for the big trains. Okay, let's... Right, this is Harrow. Now, I think if you press number 2, actually, you can also set up a cam. So, let's have a look. So, there's... Right, so there's number 2. And this is number 3. Alright, so that might actually help. Okay, so just close the doors. Right, now that's kind of like messed it up a bit. Alright, well, let's go. Right, you can see the station starter, which is the signal that is actually at the station that you look at before you go. This one's actually set back, and this is due to the overlap of a signalling circuit. They need to push this one back a bit here. Right, so the next station is Wasden Junction, and we've got a bit of an incline coming up. And a 30-mile-an-hour speed restriction. So you press number 1, you got 2.2 gradient. So we'll just go to off and release and just check it down a bit. So you got your 30 there on the left. Whenever you see a triangle and the speed limit, that triangle means it's an advance warning, basically. So it's an advance warning, speed warning. So you don't have to slow down on that one. The next one, when there's a circular board and the speed restriction, then you slow down on that one. Right, let's have a look outside. So I press number 2, okay. So got that view there. Press number 3 again. Okay, close the doors. Right, check the signal. And off we go. Here's Wasden Depot. So the next station, Kensal Green. For a second thought those were my signals, but no. Would be nice actually to have, like I said, some signals showing danger, but no, it's not happening. Right, there was a long tunnel at Kensal Green, so here it is. Now, just above the tunnel at Kensal Green is the motorway called the M1. Alright, so here we're at Queen's Park. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the customers there.
Please have your tickets ready for inspection.
Alright, so it'd be a good idea to actually remind them that this train's terminating. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your Bakerloo line service. Just a reminder that this train is terminating at Queen's Park. This train will terminate at Queen's Park. This train's about to depart. Please stand clear of the closing doors. Right, let's close up. Right, okay, so what we're looking for now is our signal to actually direct us into Queen's Park. So you can see here you have this signal with some white lights. Now this signal is called a theatre type route indicator, okay? And the reason why it's called that way is if we draw up a bit, it's a bit early. These brakes are so heavy. So you can see it's very bright, and it's got like several bright bulbs. So that's how it's coined the term theatre type route indicator. Right. So we need that to be illuminated because that will tell us that we're going across onto the Queen's Park Bakerloo line side. If it wasn't there, then it would take you straight down towards Euston. Now, if there's a problem on the line and the signalman needs to actually, or he can't physically allow any more trains onto the Bakerloo line side, then what he will do, he'll actually route you towards the station ahead, and there you'll reverse in the platform and come back up on the northbound, and you'll keep doing Queen's Park Harrow, Queen's Park Harrow, just to, well, as and when the service disruption clears, really. Okay, so this is the North Sheds. All right, we're on 24 road at the moment, so this is 24. The one next to us is 23, 22, and 21 road. So it'd be good to just make another announcement. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. This train will be terminating here at Queen's Park Station. Please do remember to take all of your belongings with you when you leave the train. If you wish to travel further southbound, please do wait on the platform for your next southbound service. And here we are. All change here, please. All change. This is Queen's Park. This train terminates here. All change, please. All change. Queen's Park Station. All change, please. Thank you. All right. So what we need to do here now is just shut the train down. So we'll just close that down. Okay. And we'll just take our control key out. Now I'm hoping that the actually, do you know what? The lights could be off. Ah, the lights are off. That shouldn't happen really. Once the lights are on, the lights stay on. Let's just turn it back on again. I think what we'll have to do is just leave the control key in. All right, all change, please. All change. This train terminates here. Now, these passengers are not going to move because the system doesn't recognize that the train is terminating. But just to show what we would do in real life, we would actually have to walk down the entire length of the platform. All right, making sure that each individual carriage is cleared or detrained. All right. Reason being, if you take passengers down into the sidings with you, then they could actually start to panic and create all sorts of problems. You don't want that. Okay, so let's just say that, well, the train's cleared. Now, what you'd actually do is, if you go to this button here, so this is what's called a porter button, and it closes the doors on individual carriages. So you'd press that and then the doors would actually close. Not simulated here. Unfortunately, that would be good if it did. All right, and if you come here, you can see that you have another porter button for this carriage and one for that carriage as well. Okay, and it's at times like this, you're walking down the platform, you know, passengers would ask you, driver, is there another train coming? Well, yeah, of course, it's only 10:30 or 11 o'clock. There is another train coming. And you just politely say, yes, there's another train coming. Just wait here and it'll be along soon. Right. So let's just say we've detrained and no one's on board. So we come back here and the control key is already in, so all we need to do is put our reverse key in. So let's just sit ourselves down, put the reverser key in, and open the train up. Put that to int. And put that to forward. And then put that to rail 1 and hold, and then close the doors up. Now the doors would already be closed, and obviously because we've just closed it using the porter buttons. All right, so what we got here is a shunt signal. We got a red signal because we're not going to go any further southbound, so we got a shunt signal which has cleared by rotating 45 degrees. Okay, and we've got number 2 there, which means that we are going to enter. We're going to enter not this road here, but that road. So it starts from left to right. Okay, so before we proceed, we do a little toot on the train whistle. Okay, and then we can actually proceed and enter into what's called the South Sheds. Just keeping an eye on your speed as well. 10 miles an hour is sufficient for this move. Getting lots of squealing from the train wheels. Now what you might want to do at this stage now is put your F1 HUD back on, because it will just give you some useful information about where to stop. So we see here we've got 47 yards, 27, oops, that'll do. Alright, so I think we've gone just a little bit over, but it doesn't matter. At least I don't think it matters. Alright, so let's just shut down and... Right, now before we actually take the control key out, I'm going to open up the doors. And so basically, let's get out the seat, press E, get out the seat, and then we can get the control key out. Right, good. And don't forget to close the door behind you, even though we're not going to be in service. So this is why I say to leave the doors open, so we can just actually walk on the outside. Otherwise, we'll have to actually keep opening up, closing the doors. Let's turn the HUD off actually. There we go. So that's the first part done. We're at Queen's Park. And the stick's off. Alright, so what we can do now is go up towards the train and press E to jump up, and then we can actually go and open up the cab door. So we have to imagine that these passengers are not there. Right. Turn on the cab light. So we put the control key in by clicking on the outside of the barrel, like that, and turning it on. And then we can actually sit down, press E to sit down. All right, check the destination. All right, so that's what we want, not in service. And put the key in by just clicking on the top of the reverser barrel like that. Up pops the key, swing it round to int, mouse on the TBC and swing it round to off and release. Press audible warning valve reset and put that back to rear 1 and hold, and put this back to forward. Okay, cool. Let's have a look. Alright, yeah, we'll leave it on. Okay, so are we ready? No, we've got to close the doors. Right, so you've got the stickers off. You can see it says number 1, which means obviously we're going to go over to the northbound platform at Queen's Park. And we'll just give a little toot on the whistle. And then we can move off. Just remembering to keep your speed down. Now you can see all the red lights in the area. This means that the signalman is holding all the service for you. So if you were to delay inside the sheds for some reason, say for example you were to maybe you thought you've got about 10 minutes and you were sitting down listening to your music on your iPhone and not realizing that the signal has cleared. So your delay would actually delay everybody else outside because they can't go anywhere unless the signalman does what you call takes a release, where he has to actually wait a certain period of time to actually put the signal back. Now you can see the signals here on the platform in the middle there. That shouldn't be yellow, that should be red, as explained on the previous video. Now we don't have to stop, we're actually going right through. Alright, because if we stop then passengers might get the idea that we're in service, so we're not in service, so we go right through. Now if, say for example, which has happened to me on a couple of occasions, is that you forget that you're not in service. It's so easy to happen. Then you pull up on a platform and you open your doors. Right, you're not supposed to be running passenger service, so what you need to do now is you can't just close the doors and go, because you don't know if any passengers have actually got on your train. So you literally have to get out your cab and do exactly the same thing we did on the southbound. And you have to actually go and make sure that all the train is empty. Otherwise, when you actually driving past the stations and this passenger wants to get off, he's going to pull the emergency handle, and then that's just going to cause all sorts of problems. So some things you have to just keep reminding yourself, no, I'm not in service, I'm not in service, I'm not in service. Okay, so this is one of the best parts, I would say, is driving past stations and not stopping. Quite contrary to what we should be doing, is picking up passengers, but yeah, this is, we're running empty, we're taking empty stock back to Stonebridge Park. Right, but we're not going to like blast our way at high speed through stations, and because you need to understand that, you know, these stations do have actually people on the platform, so we need to be prepared for any eventuality. And if you're speeding through at 45 miles an hour, then you know you're not going to be in a can you see the triangle there on the left? You just missed it. It's got 30 on it. That's an advanced speed restriction. So okay, so yeah, we just basically take our time through the station, give a toot on the whistle. Make sure the signal's cleared, which it is, and then we wind up and just go through. Normally I'd actually make sure that the lights are off, because when the train pulls up and the lights are off, then it gives the passengers kind of like extra notification that the train is not in service. Right, so this signal here, you need to make sure that it's got an M on it. Now the M stands for main or main line. If it was just a green signal, don't take it. Stop it. Stop there, and you'd actually get onto the signalman and say, "What's going on? I need to go through to Stonebridge Park." And he will say, "Oh, sorry about that. Just wait there, please. I'll set the signal." But I've never actually had that signal just on green. It's always been M. It's always good to be alert and check it. Now, if it was just a green, we'd actually go straight through to the middle platform there. Okay, so let's check it down a bit. Alright, train whistle. Just cruise through a little bit at slow speed. And we can wind up now, it should be okay. Just making sure that signal is green as well. So we're going down a slope here. You can see the slope is 2.2 degrees. And at the bank as well is 1.9. Next station is Harrow. Checking the speed down a bit. Train whistle. Yeah, we're okay to wind up. Alright, what's the time? 23:14. Okay. I never liked finishing at Stonebridge Park, especially at this time of the night. Yeah, especially if you're leaving South London, you've got to travel all the way from Stonebridge Park, all the way back down towards Elephant Castle, and then jump in your car and go home. So, no, I never liked finishing all the way up here. And didn't really have many duties that did that. Normally, the crew at Queen's Park would actually do that. So on the Bakerloo line, you've got like two booking on points. So you'd have Elephant Castle as a booking on point, and Queen's Park. And generally, you would actually finish where you start. Right, so we stop here, and basically we'll just make sure everything is okay. So the platform there is cleared, and we've got the signal. So you've got two white lights, and you've got number 1. Same principle as Queen's Park. Number 1 means you're going on the left road. Number 2 means you're going to the right. Now, number 1 will take you through the wash, so we'll see that. Okay, so we're all cleared, so we'll do our train whistle, and then we can just go straight. No passengers to worry about, just go straight into the yard. Okay, so you can see a sign saying stop. Right, so that's our stop board. And you can't actually pass this area without permission. So you can see the wash is in front of us. So what we need to do now is actually call up the shunter. So to do that, all we have to do is go to the comms panel right in front of us here. And we will press the depot button, which is this one. That's the line controllers button. That's for the signalman. And we press this one to call the shunters. So we'll press that and we'll just wait for him to call us. And he'll say something like, train 249 outside on 26th Road, a passing message. And we'll respond by saying, good evening, shunter. This is train 249 just outside, requesting permission to enter the depot, please. And he'll say, yeah, good evening, 249. Proceed through the wash and stable on 10 Road, or whatever the road is. And so you just repeat that message back to him. Yeah, proceeding through the wash and stabling on 10 Road, 10 Road. Thank you. And that's it. And then after that, we just proceed through the wash. And so what we do, another blast on the train whistle, just to warn anyone that might be in the way. And then we'll just wind up and take you through the wash. All right, but what you want to actually go through the wash about 5 miles an hour, just so that the train gets a good wash. Now sometimes there's actually, I say sometimes actually, there should be a board saying clear of wash. Just so that basically you can stop driving at 5 miles an hour and just increase it to 10 really, but you just have to use your judgment on it really. Right, so we're going round to the left. Okay, and since we're going around a bend, we can actually just use a train whistle just in case somebody is around the corner. Okay, so on the right, you've got 46 and 47 Road. Just in front of us here, we've got some more roads. Now, at this point, it's not drawn in, but round about here, there's the shunter's office. So he literally sits above in a building up here. So you'd have to get the stairs to go up. But it's not modelled or shown here on the sim at the moment. Right, so where are they putting us? Oh, it looks like it's number 1 road. No, it's not. Right, it's number 3. Number 3 road. Okay, so what we want to do is stop right about here. And we want to actually give a blast on the train whistle. Sometimes you might approach the sheds and the shutters are down. All right, so in the real world, if the shutters are down, you know, someone actually could be behind that. So it's always good to stop and make a blast on the train whistle and then proceed. Last thing you want to do is actually to take someone down in the depot. Right, once again, you can actually use the HUD just to see how far you got to go, but I think it's pretty obvious. We can't go no further than the buffers there at the end. Right, so this is the end of the scenario. So, and pretty much the end of the video. And there we go. That is it. Thank you for completing this run. Okay, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed that brief trip on the Bakerloo line. I may do the final part, which is the run from Queen's Park down to Elephant Castle. So you can see here my progress there. You can see the red lines, which is the speed limits. And yeah, pretty much fell inside. Busted the speed limit here a little bit on this section. All right, but pretty much, yeah, it's all good. So I would like to thank you very much for watching the video. Once again, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing just to help support the channel. All right, so yeah, that's it. Do stay safe and take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.